Well, hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. Thanks so much for joining me here tonight. If this is your first time joining me, well, a big warm welcome and a thank you to you. If you've been here many times before, well, of course, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Um, we have an amazing master topic for the week, which you have, if you haven't tuned in before, maybe you have not heard it yet, but it's really a good master topic. The topic this week is one that really I think hits home for a lot of different people. And sometimes we don't think about it, but high impact living, 7 days to think sharper, feel stronger, and lead your own life. We'll get into the granular in just a moment. If you haven't checked out believemeachieve.com, what are you waiting for? Go check that out. Oh, by the way, if you're thirsty or you're hungry or what have you, I have my delicious cup of herbal hot tea here, decaf. Very hot, right from the Insta Hot. Really good. All right, guys. So without any further ado, let's kick this show off, okay? So, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into, yes, another powerful episode of the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show, the daily motivational show that helps you think sharper, feel stronger, and lead your own life on purpose. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, um, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and passionate lifelong learner. And I spent many years, guys, building businesses, simplifying complex ideas, and coaching people just like you to stop living on autopilot and start leading their life like a true CEO. Because when we lead our life on autopilot, life just sort of vanishes. The time we have, well, it sort of slips through our fingers. When we live intentionally, our life moves slower. And I think that's a real important thing. So today's episode, okay, being Monday, December 15th, it's all about strategic self-leadership, being the CEO of your own life, not just your own company, but your own life. Series 4, Show 51, episode number 3. And it's all about stepping up from, well, passenger to pilot, owning your decisions, your priorities, and your direction. So your life runs with intention, not just momentum. And that's key. Number one, act like the CEO of your life, not just an employee. A CEO doesn't wait to be told what to do. Chief Executive Officer. They set vision. They make hard calls and own results. Shift from I'll see what happens to I'm deciding what happens, and treat your choices as strategic, accidental hits, right? So, number 2, start the day with a quick board meeting with yourself. What matters most? Before email or tasks, ask what truly needs my best energy today. What can wait? What can go? You're starting to align your day to your mission, not just reacting to whatever is loudest. Number 3, guys, choose one decision you'll stop outsourcing to other people's opinions. Maybe it's a move, a project, a boundary, or a creative direction. You keep polling everyone and gathering input if you need to, but make the call, guys, yourself, so your self-trust starts to grow again and again. And I think that can be hard for a lot of people because maybe they're not used to being in the driver's seat. Maybe. But once you're in it, it's definitely something you'll want to keep doing over and over again. Number 4, guys, got to get some more of this hot tea. It's really good. And I have this really cool mug, if those of you guys are actually watching and not just listening. It's a blue mug, and it has this thing where you actually can do, what you need to do by like moving this little lever, so you can have just a little bit of tea or a little bit of beverage. You can have just a little bit, and then it even has like a tiny hole on the other side just to kind of like help with the venting, so you could just take a tiny sip, but really cool. And it really keeps my beverage hot or cold. Number 4, guys, run your day with a simple plan, not a scattered to-do list. Instead of staring at 40 disconnected tasks, group them into must do, nice to do, and can wait. A few clear objectives with tasks underneath them, and turn your day into a plan, not a pile of challenges. Number 5, ask what are my top 3 priorities today and protect them. When everything is a priority, nothing is going to get done. Choose 3 outcomes, folks, that truly matter: deep work, key calls, health, relationships, and treat them like VIPs in your calendar. Now, I know because I've made these mistakes myself in the past. Not only is it important to have the right rest, that's really important, but sometimes what happens when we get busy to be busy executives, we sometimes forget to eat. Now, I know this sounds like something that is like crazy, but it happens. It happened to me not too long ago. And after that, I vowed to myself that I'm always going to make sure not only do I take care of myself, but I make sure that I feed my body and don't let my priorities get ahead of my health, including my well being and food and nourishment. So, what happened was I was doing some work at a facility, and then I had went home. The next day, I got up, didn't really have breakfast, which the reason was because I was getting ready to leave to go somewhere, and I didn't want to stock a lot of food in the house. And so I remember doing this one task and being very alert, acute during the task. But then after that task, I went to go get gas, which was a smart thing because just after I got gas, I started to lose hearing in one ear. Now, this sounds very like scary and strange, but it's truthful. So when that happened, first thing I was like, okay, I got to rest. Maybe it's stress. That wasn't it. Then I realized, oh, blank, I didn't eat this morning. And before I knew it, I found myself being unstable, not being able to walk, and I'm perfectly healthy. So I went to a local, it was a local place, where they have gas. I think it was like a Wawa or a Quick Check. And they were so nice to me. I went in there and I was a little bit shaking and I just was asking for some food. And they got me the food. They didn't even worry about me having to key it in. They just put the order in and they gave it to me. They gave me water. They gave me a chair. They made sure I was okay. And I had to be somewhere. But I knew one thing. I knew that if I could not walk a straight line, I knew that I was not fit to drive. So that was a wake-up call for me. A wake-up call to say, hey, John, you know, life should never be too busy that you can't stop to have a snack, to nourish yourself. I think that's important. And so what I realized is that, you might say, gee, how did that happen? Well, I was thinking about it. It happens, it wasn't a low blood sugar or anything like that. It happened because the blood flow decreased because there was not enough fuel to keep it pumping well. What happened? My left ear started to fill up with fluid. And if you ever had an equilibrium imbalance, right, that can mess you up with walking and lots of things. But the thing that was very strange about it was that you lost hearing. And that's kind of scary. And so I knew when I was fit enough to be able to get behind the wheel and drive. And I think that's important. But I think the most important thing is that you have to treat yourself well all the time. Even when you're like, oh, I'm too busy. No, that's nonsense. You always have time to stop and get something. And part of me was like, oh, I'll wait till I get to this destination and I'll go there to eat. But then I realized I can't. Like my body was shutting down. And so when you're busy, you've also got to make sure that you have, well, sustainable food on you. That could be granola bars, it could be some other snacks, some juice, but have that emergency supply on you so that if you have to eat something, you do. But it should be happening when you notice you haven't eaten, like you missed breakfast or something. And breakfast is usually not enough to cause the skip. But what also happened is the day before I didn't eat a lot. And so that blood flow was starting to catch up. And I just want to share that with you guys. We have to take care and love ourselves. And so after that moment, I vow that I will never do that again. And I will always make sure that my body gets nourished in all the ways it needs to, whether that's rest, whether that's food, whether that's saying no to people and being able to say yes to myself. I want to share that story with you. And after that happened, I went back to that store to bring them something to eat, to say thank you for basically caring enough about me. When I was walking into that store, there was at least 8, 9, 10 people. Out of 10 people, only one person stopped and said, "Well, do you want to go inside?" That was it. Everybody was too busy. Now, I know that if, let's say, the glove was on the other hand and I was the one walking and seeing that person, I'm like, "Are you okay?" I would care about that person. And it just got me to think that we have to love ourselves. And because of the action that those people did, the way they cared about me, the way they were concerned about making sure I was okay, that made me feel really good. But you might say, "John, how does that happen?" You get busy, one thing leads to another, and bam, you don't have enough nourishment in you. And so blood flow kind of slows down. And the ear can't maintain its equilibrium. When that happens, you can't really walk very well. You kind of walk like, oh, like you can't balance. Every step is like you feel like you're going to fall over. So I think that's important, and I want to share that with you guys. Number 6, stop treating your goals like wishes. Treat them like projects. Wishes live in someday. Projects have owners, deadlines, and steps. Take one long talked about goal and write the outcome, the target date, and the key milestones so it finally has a path of its own. Number 7, break a big goal into the next 3 concrete moves: one email, one call, one piece of research. Small, doable actions. Do the first one today so the goal shifts from idea to motion. Number 8, guys, give every task an owner, a deadline, and a why, especially when the owner is you. Yeah, understand the task without an owner just floats. Without a deadline, it drifts even further. Without a why, it just gets dropped out of sight, out of mind. I'll do this by Friday because it moves me closer to X. Turn intention into execution. Number 9, stop waiting for someday and assign dates. Someday is where projects go to die. Put real dates on your calendar. Start dates, decision dates, finish dates. Because a date is a decision, and decisions are what leaders make. Number 10, decide what you will no longer tolerate from yourself. I told you one thing. I will no longer tolerate being too busy to be able to take 5 or 10 minutes to have a nourishing meal or longer. Self-leadership is also about what you're doing and accepting. Chronic lateness, procrastination, overpromising, or breaking your own word. Draw one firm line today and let your standards rise to meet it. You'll be surprised. Number 11, set one clear standard for how you handle commitments. Maybe it's I follow through, or if something slips, I communicate early. Define it and live it so people learn that they can trust your word because you do. Number 12, audit where you leak time, unclear tasks, weak boundaries, or distractions. Look back at the last few days and ask, where did my time go that didn't really move anything important? Then plug at least one of the leaks this week. You'll be amazed how that'll change your life. Number 13, build a simple weekly review to adjust your direction. Once a week, compare what you planned with what you actually did. Note what worked, what didn't, and what you'll change. Small course corrections keep you from drifting far off course. Number 14, guys, track progress in invisible ways so your brain sees the climb. Use a notebook, an app, or whiteboard to track habits, steps, calls, or finished tasks. When you see the streak building, you naturally want to keep it going. Number 15, delegate or drop one low-value task if you can. CEOs don't spend their day doing what anyone else could do. Ask, what can I automate? Now, be careful with this. Outsource or stop doing. Because if you automate everything, right, and you become a person that's on autopilot and your whole day is all programmed, your life's going to fly by. You're like, what happened to my day? What happened to my week? What happened to my month? What happened to the quarter? What happened to this year? Be intentional with what you're doing. Removing even one low impact task creates space for high impact work. Number 16, if you can't delegate, systemize it to make it easier next time. For repetitive tasks, create a quick checklist or template. Systemizing reduces decision fatigue and frees your mind for bigger choices. Number 17, ask, what would the next level version of me do in this exact situation? When you're unsure, borrow the mindset of your calmer, wiser, more successful future self. Nothing wrong with that. Let that version of you guide the next step. Number 18, make one decision quickly that you've been dragging out. Indecision drains energy. Take one lingering choice, yes, no, or not now, and decide based on the best information available so your mind can move on. Number 19, learn to separate urgent from important. Urgent things shout, important things whisper. Ask, is this urgent, important, or both? Or neither? And give important work protected time, even if it's not screaming at you. Number 20, guys, say a clean no to something that doesn't align with your direction, goals, and purposes. A clean no is brief and respectful. No long excuses, every no to what doesn't fit. Your mission is a yes to the space your real priorities need. Number 21, treat your calendar as a strategic tool, not just a reminder app. Block time for deep work, health, relationships, and recovery, not just other people's meetings. Your calendar should reflect the life you say you want. And I think a lot of people want that, but then when push comes to shove, they make excuses. Successful people don't make excuses. They make dreams happen. Dreams are your expectations. Put on a deadline becomes a goal. Number 22, Build a small thinking block each week for planning, not just reacting. Even 20 to 30 minutes of quiet planning can change your week. Ask, what do I want to move forward? What needs to stop? What needs to start? Number 23, capture ideas and tasks in one place instead of all over your brain. Use one notebook or one app as your inbox. Let your brain focus on thinking, not on remembering scattered details. Number 24, when you feel stuck, define the problem in one sentence. First, the problem is blank. It forces you to clarify things. Once your challenge is clearly stated, the next step is usually much easier to see. Number 25, guys, ask better questions instead of repeating the same complaints. Replace, why does this always happen to me, with what can I change, learn, or try differently next time? Per example, is when that happened to me with losing balance. I said to myself, not why does this happen to me? I said to myself, what can I change so this never happens again? I don't ever want this to happen again to me. Every time I've been protected that it happened, I think this happened once, and then many years ago it happened. And I first blamed it on the fact that it was just allergies. Well, that was nice, and it seemed like it fit the puzzle, but in reality, it wasn't allergies. It was blood flowing, slowing down, because it didn't have enough energy to fuel it, didn't have nutrition. Better questions, guys, lead to better actions. Number 26, create a simple personal mission. A line for the next 12 months. One sentence like this: year, I'm focused on financial stability, health, and confidence in my work. And it gives your decisions a filter. If an opportunity doesn't support that, it's easier to say no to. Number 27, make decisions today. Your future self will actually thank you for it. Imagine yourself a year from now, looking back on this week. What would they be grateful you did? Paid down, started, finished, or even ended. Number 28, lead your emotions. Don't let them run the meetings. I was saying this to somebody because I was taking somebody to court for something a while back. And I was explaining something to another plaintiff for another case. And I said to them, the judge isn't going to make his decision on emotions. So we have to leave the emotions outside of the courtroom, and we have to just talk about facts. And we have to avoid hearsay, obviously. And what I learned from that is the importance of sticking to the facts. And the facts will set you free if you have the right, clear facts. Emotions are signals, not always instructions, okay? Notice what you feel. You breathe and then ask, right? That's a very important thing, guys. I think that's an extremely important thing. And I say that to you because a lot of people, like, they don't get it. They don't understand, like, why these things happen. And I'm going to tell you that these things happen because of where we are. Take that breath. What's the wise move here that you're chairing the meeting instead of being pulled around by it? Number 29, treat your life as a long-term build, not a weekend project. Think in months and years, not just in days. When you see your life as a long build, You obsess less over instant results and focus more on consistent, aligned steps. Number 30, end Monday by choosing one leadership move you'll repeat every week. Maybe it's the morning board meeting, the weekly review, or perhaps your thinking block. Make that one habit non negotiable so self leadership becomes your default operating system. You've been listening to, yes, the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. That's right, an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. Your daily partner in helping you build the mindset, the habits, and self leadership you need to become the CEO of your own life. I think too often we're either easy on ourselves or we're too hard on ourselves. And when I say we're too hard, we make it so we can't win because we don't celebrate all the good we've done today. That's a very important skill. And one that I learned a while back is that we need to love ourselves. We need to nurture ourselves. That's important too. To go deeper, please visit believemeachieve.com. You can connect with me there. You can find short form content, long form content, articles, reels, and so much more. I invite you to tune in after the show there or tomorrow as we continue high impact living. 7 days to think sharper, feel stronger, and lead your own life. Let's elevate your life together. Let's give you some podcast wisdom, some self-leadership. Mindset matters, guys. Don't let people around you ruin your party. Just because they're not at the same maturity level you're at, or they're not at the same stage in life you're at, doesn't mean that they have the right to rain on your parade. Have yourself a great one, everyone, and check out believemeachieve.com. Be well, everyone.